Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 84. We've got an incredible guest with us this morning. This will be a fun hour of just chatting darts. But before we get into that, I want to remind you that Coffee and Darts does air every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, except for last Tuesday, where I had something come up and I had to miss it. So I apologize for that. But again, every Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and occasionally we drip in another interview here and there, depending on what's going on during the week. So if you guys are ready to get into today's show, give me a ton 80 out there in the comments, and don't forget to like and share this. All right, everybody, before I bring on my guest, I do need to do one thing. I kind of worked out a little video on this, and I've decided just now, I'm not going to play that video for you. You'll have to wait and see once I complete it. But I do want to thank my wonderful sponsors. We do have the illustrious Shot Darts, which, as you all know, they make art that we get to throw. Just an incredible barrel manufacturer, and love Shot Darts. Also, Magicwear, where we get these great jerseys that I'm wearing. They have ready designs, off-the-shelf designs. Of course, you can get them semi-custom, custom, and full custom. And then Condor, Flight, and Shaft. I play the Axe system, and many of you play the Axe system as well. All right, we're going to bring my guest on. We're going to get into darts, but as I do that, he's going to help me out with a drawing that I needed to do, which I was supposed to do last Tuesday, and this is for my patrons. So I do have a Patreon page where you can go become a patron, and every quarter I do a drawing where someone gets to dive into my sets of darts, which I have a plethora of them sitting around. Occasionally I sell some of them, some I give away. We do different things with them. But they get the opportunity to pick a set of darts, or they can pick a set of B-52s, which the soft tips just recently came out. You can check those out over at atomicdarts.com. But let me bring my guest on. We're going to do that first, and we're going to figure out who the winner is from my patrons. And then we'll dive into asking some questions of this young man and kind of find out a little bit more about him. And I am talking about Devin the FOXX. Let's bring him on. What's going on, sir? How you doing?
How's it going, guys?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right, so I need your help real quick. I'm going to throw a couple of number of questions at you. And if you could help me out, whittle down to find out who our winner is of my patrons, we're going to give them away a set of darts and maybe some other junk. So, and if anybody was asking or wondering how do you get into the drawing, you must be a patron. Just head over to Patreon and go look up Atomic Darts, and you can dive in that way. All right, so Devin, before we get into talking to you about your darts career and getting into darts, I want to talk a little bit about Mission 22. You're wearing the shirt today, and what they stand for. I think this is that'll be a good topic for us to talk about, and just kind of your journey so far and what some of your achievements, what your goals are, and things. But before we get into that, I need you to pick a number between 1 and 100.
Obviously 22, baby.
22. Okay, so 22.
22.
All right, so this could be the number for the next couple questions, because I'm going to go 1 and 50.
I'll give you a
22. Okay. All right, 1 and 20. Sorry, I'm going to blow that for you.
1 and 20. Let's go with 12.
12. Okay. Let's go 1 in 1. Yeah, we'll go 1 and 12. That'll work.
1 and 12. Let's go with 4.
4. Okay. So if I add that all up, and I got to look over here at my screen, that would make Larry Winger Jr. the winner. So, Larry, you are the winner, buddy. I will reach out to you. Larry's actually the one that busted me for not being on the show or doing my show last week. He's like, dude, I thought you were doing the drawing. Did I miss it? I'm like, no, I just missed the show entirely. So Larry is the winner. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We got Bullseyes and Brewskis on here. We got Scott Carter. We got Osty Van, Osty Man. We got Kenny Stevens, Spike, David, Matador Darts, Bigfoot Shaber, Stuart McNally, and plenty more. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and share. So the man that's sitting with me, all right, Devin Hunter here. Let's just get into a little bit of your history. Let's talk a little bit about darts. But before we, got out of the show, I had asked you a little bit about your military career. I live right outside of Camp Pendleton. A lot of my friends, as I had mentioned, were in the military. I unfortunately blew my knee out when all my buddies went and saw recruiters. And the recruiter that I went and saw, I went to try and join the Navy. They basically said, no, come back when you're healed up. They did tell me, though, if I went to the Army, I could sign waivers. They would take anybody. And I was like, well, I really don't want the Army because my family's all been Navy. I really wanted that. So I waited till my knee healed up. And by then I had found a girl and was getting married. And anyway, so just curious a little bit about your military history. And the reason I bring that up is the Mission 22. We're going to talk about that. But you mentioned you were in the Army. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I signed up for the Army in 2005 and stayed until 2013. And then I went to Army Guard. I signed a 2-year contract with National Guard and then finished out there and decided I was done.
Yep. No, I have a really good friend who was in the Army, and he worked in the motor pool, and he fixes cars like no other. So he got a good skill out of it. So
yeah, they stuck me at I was at Fort Knox majority of my time. So Fort Knox in the summertime is pretty much hell on earth. So I don't recommend it, but it was awesome. It was awesome. I met a lot of cool people, and a lot of people that I went into basic training with, I'm still friends with them today. So it's cool to have that like bond outside of everything. So.
That's very cool. It's very cool. So tell me a little bit about your getting into darts, because I know you have, I don't know how long you've been playing darts, but I know that desire to really push for darts has been we've all kind of been watching it because you made the announcement online and you've really been using the social medias to promote yourself, which is props to you, kudos to you, because that's what you should be doing. It's, social media is there for you to promote yourself, which is good. But tell me a little bit about your darts career. How long have you been playing darts, and what's this push that you've been doing?
I started playing darts last October. That was my first time ever knowing anything about darts. To me, as most people, I thought it was, just go to a bar, throw some darts, have some fun, and some competition players kind of showed me a whole other level of darts that I didn't exactly know about. And it just, it engulfed me. I wanted it. I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to win. I wanted to drive. And so I just started playing every day for, I think it was 8 to 12 hours a day, every day for going on 6 months now. It's just any spare time that I have, I grab darts and start, doing double routines, doing apps and everything else. So it's
some crazy dedication, man. 12, that's a lot of dedication. If I didn't have kids, I might do half of what you're doing. So, the kids
were training doing best of 52. So we would just stay up all night, just throwing darts and having fun, man, learning.
No, it's cool. I think it's great. I know I've seen a number of your posts where, you've definitely been at it for hours. How's that coming? I mean, how's the 6 months been? Are you still in love with the game? Or do you have times where you're like, oh, I got to practice right now? Or is it just still this, you're seeing enough improvement that it's like, okay, this is fun still?
I have this weird brain thing where I try to look at everything like 18 steps ahead of me. And when I do one certain thing and it turns out to be good, I see more, and I push more and further and further. And I've wanted to quit only one time. And I had a good friend of mine. She passed away not too long ago, Jenna. And, she reached out to all of her friends. I think I woke up that morning with like 30 messages in my phone of everybody just like, don't quit, don't quit. And that was really the only time that I ever felt like that. And that was back in December. But ever since then, I've kept fueling fire and just keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing.
Nice. For some reason, I think I remember seeing a post like you had posted on Facebook that, you were kind of feeling like it. Maybe that was someone else, but for some reason I kind of remember a post from you in regards to that. Well, that's good. So, I mean, how has play been? Of course, you decided to join the darts community from this aspect of, hey, I want to get really good and play, maybe from a professional type standpoint during, this whole COVID era that we're now into this past year. And it was during the quiet time where people weren't going to bars, or at least where I live, we're still, we don't know what sunshine is, even though we're all out and about. You're in Tennessee, so I have friends that live there, and they're it's a little bit more open. Have you been able to get out and play other people, or were you kind of just doing online stuff? How did it start, and where are you at now?
Actually, my very first tournament was online, and it was Matador Darts. So shout out to Matador. He was the one that actually put me out of that tournament. So I want a rematch, but it was a lot of fun. And then once I did that, some more, people's told me about them more, so I would jump on those and just basically do my laps virtual. And then I got comfortable enough to where I signed on with GNDA out of Nashville to do leagues. So it's been. I started out virtual, and now I'm going into, going out and about. So it's been a lot of fun.
So you're playing actual physical people, at an actual location. It's not virtual.
Okay.
I'm curious because I think we're going to see a lot of people that have done the virtual thing where they felt comfortable because they were in their home, they were in their garage, or their dark closet, and they're coming out of the closet in the fact that they're now coming into the public eye and they're actually seeing people face to face. And there's a difference because you can feel tension. You can feel the emotions in a room when you're there versus just playing in your own space where you're comfortable. How has that been for you? Are you seeing, is it a little bit different? Is the game better, worse, the same? What's the difference coming out of playing from the virtual standpoint into real human existence?
It's definitely more nerve-wracking in person for me. We actually just finished up our league. And it was 18 weeks, so we've been at it for the past two months, and so we're full on open, and I think it's more of you're coming outside of your bubble, like you said, your bubble in your home, and then you're going out in public where you have, all these people just there, and noise and background and music, and everything's going on that you don't have at home. So once you figure out how to block some of that out, it gets easier. And then you can use that to block out everything else to where you just, for me, it's like tunnel vision. You just kind of blur everything and just kind of focus on where do you need to go.
Yeah. Do you feel that some players that are used to playing in the bubble, I like that more than the box. I think it's more of a bubble that needs to be popped. It's round. It's, it's nice. It's safe. Do you feel that there are going to be players that come out of the bubble that really, once they get to the face-to-face play, their game's just going to tank because of the lack of safety, so to speak? Or do you think, like for yourself, you are able to maintain it? But do you have that feeling? Because you kind of, the first person I've talked to that's really come out of that, most everybody I've talked to was used to playing in person, then they got sucked into the bubble and they hated the bubble and they can't wait to get to in person. How do you see that playing out? Are you playing others that were in the bubble and now out of the bubble that are just kind of tanking?
Not personally, I'm not. I've got a lot of friends, and some of them have told me that when they try the virtuals, they don't really like it. Can it be trusted? How do you know their line is measured? How do you know certain things? And majority of online, like 100%, is trust, because you got to trust that person has measured correctly. Is the board the right height? Is the line, so there's a lot of different aspects, and I wanted to kind of build on that to where if they ran a virtual league, to where to qualify to be in it, you had to have your local association come out and actually measure your line and your board at home, sign off on it saying, hey, this person is good to go, legit. And that way it would cut some of that off. So there's different ways you can build on virtual darts, but I think a lot of people that come from virtual to out, I think the nerves really start wrecking, and you start averages just go way down, and then but the more you go out, you kind of level yourself back out and kind of get into a new kind of atmosphere, So that's the way it was for me when my first time going out into public. It was I was just a nervous damn wreck, because I'm not used to. I didn't have that comfort zone anymore. So you definitely got to get out of your comfort zone and go do it. I mean, there's just no way around it.
No, it totally makes sense. In regards to the virtual, the line being a specific distance and the board height, that's never been a big issue for me, because I think the reality is, and if you try this, everybody try this, step 2 inches closer to the board because you think it's going to help you. It doesn't. Your throw is way off. If the board's at a wrong height, this is why when we watch PDC players, which we may get into the PDC a little bit because I got problems with them from yesterday, but what you see, like, they will get bitchy because the board's off by just a little bit, and the reason being is you're used to playing at a specific length, specific height. Your throw is designed for that. It's like a pitching in baseball. If you adjust that mound in a specific way, your throw's off because your body is trained to throw from basically 7'9¼ or whatever exactly it is. I don't even remember, 7 foot, whatever. I got carpets that just, I go to the line. I got little Ockies and I go. And then the height of the board, I can tell if my height's off by half an inch. I'm like, wait, something's off. So that's never been the big thing for me. My big cheat for the virtual, and I still haven't done this, and if Bob's watching, I have not done this yet, but I might try it, is I'm going to get the good players out of our league, the guys that are way better than me, have them throw for me, and then I'll just go retrieve the darts. Because, the camera's on the board, you see the person retrieving. You don't see the person throwing a lot of times. Yeah. I think that's where we need to fix it, is have cameras at both spots. But I'm just going to get like an A player, or I'm going to get someone that's a pro and they can throw for me, and then I can retrieve the darts. I think that's the really only way you can cheat, unless you're trying some camera trickery. So,
yeah. And it's the same way, like when people move, when you move from the right side of the line to the left, any adjustment is going to throw your thing. Yeah. So I feel like you said, forward and backward it will do the same thing, man. You're not really gaining an advantage by stepping closer. It's just throwing you way off. But
I don't think so.
Some leagues where you have to have 2 cameras. You have to have 2 cameras and all that stuff. So those leagues I love those.
Yeah.
It kind of takes all that out.
I think it makes it a little bit more fun. And I tried a practice routine once where I was closer to the board, figuring, okay, like shooting, like when I shot archery, you would start a little bit closer so that you got the feel of hitting it, and then you would go back a little, and you would do. I tried that methodology with darts, and I'll tell you guys from existence, it does not work. It does not work at all. I want to dive briefly into acceptance within the community, because I remember the first time I ever walked into a bar where I was signing up to play darts. I had never done that with anybody. I'd been playing in my house, practicing at home, playing against the computer, but I had never actually played against another human being. And I walked in, and it was very intimidating. And I think people that are coming out of their bubble, that are used to the bubble play, now are coming back to this area. And especially if you found darts in the last year and you're like, oh, this is great, and I've got friends now. Now I want to go meet them and I want to play. There's this, it's intimidating. It's kind of scary. I remember the first time I walked in, but everybody was so nice. I was playing in it was like a little weekend tournament type thing. It was a round robin situation. I got to play everybody. And I played the top players in the league. I played some of the people that were not. And I won a couple. I lost a lot of them. But I will say that walking into there, the nerves that I had within a couple of minutes had kind of gone away just because of how nice people were. Coming into the darts community and coming out of the bubble into an area where you're with people, how's it been for you, and what's been the acceptance in the darts community for you?
For the most part, good. I really didn't. I didn't know a lot of people in Nashville. I knew maybe 3 or 4, and so going into that was definitely very intimidating. I think within my first 5 minutes of walking into Craftsman, I met the current state champion, and he was signing up for the draw, and I'm sitting there like, okay, how in the hell does nobody like me pull this off? So it was definitely intimidating in that aspect. But I mean, I kind of went in kind of shy, kind of like standoffish, but I mean, it was open arms, man. It was, everybody was, hey, you're that dude, and so it went off from there, man. And I've met many more friends since then. So it's been cool. Like I like it a lot. You feel like you're a part of something again. You feel like you're, whether you're a part of a team or you're, doing singles, you have that kind of safety net, I guess you could say, because at any point in time, I can turn around and look at somebody and be like, hey, this is what I hit. Where do I get? You know what I mean? And there's always somebody like, well, if you do this, you do, kind of teaching you, as you play. So that's really been really helpful, and people's kind of went out of their way to help me out as far as being, in my home league and stuff like that. So it's been really, really good for the most part, man. It's been great. Everybody's been very welcoming and just happy to have somebody play darts, So.
Yeah, it's nice to have kind of that human interaction. That's kind of how I feel the darts is, in the darts community. When you look at it as a whole, it's a very accepting. I've always said that it's the sport that's an equalizer. Men and women, the distance is the same. The height of the board is the same. It's really how much do you put into it. I know that there are differences between men and women. I mean, that's just the way it is. But overall, when it comes to sport, this is probably the one sport that really equalizes everything. And it's one of the things I love about it. And the community seems to be so inviting. I've never seen anybody be like, oh, I don't like this person or that type of person or this about someone in this sport. And so that's, I think, one of the greatest things about what darts is. So I'm happy that it hasn't been an issue for you. People haven't kind of attacked you. I know that they're in this day and age, people get into social media and that can happen. People see what other people are doing and jealousy or whatever, rears its ugly head, so to speak, and people kind of get nasty. But so what's your practice routine like? I mean, do you have a specific thing that you're doing each day? Or do you have a coach? How's this going? Because I mean, within 6 months, I mean, I know your push is to become one of the better darts players in your area and to do well in tournaments. I mean, what are you doing to get to that?
I have a practice partner. I can't say his name, but I've got a practice partner, and I throw with him a lot. We do virtuals, and we play virtual matches together on Dart Connect and things like that. And so I've got him on video talking to me, watching me, looking at my throws, teaching me, the different outs, calling out the numbers to hit, and it's just a lot of one-on-one time with that person. And just basically my friends just putting up, hey, I'm ready to play. Who's down? I've got 34 players that we did the 80N virtual World Cup. And so at any time we can get on our little chat and just call somebody out. So it's been a lot of fun doing that. But that's mainly it, is just keep, just doing matches and, just trying to, I guess, have that competitive feel, to have somebody way better than you just annihilate you every day, and but at the same time teach you too. So it's been great, and that's basically what we do. We just start together and play matches together, and my friends come out and help me out. So
yeah, no specific routine. No specific routine. There's not. You don't like come to the board and say, okay, for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this. I'm going to shoot bullseyes. I'm going to shoot specific outs, or you're just playing game after game after game.
And we've got a version of, I've been doing a lot of the Bob's 27 and a lot of the JDC app. It's got the, you throw 3 darts at the 15, throw 3 darts at the 16, then you go back up and do doubles all the way around, So I've been working a lot of those, and my partner does it at the same time, kind of. So when I throw my 3, he'll throw his 3. And so I can kind of compare and stuff. Well, why is my third dart going to the left? Well, your wrist is doing this. I just saw it. Yeah. So there's a lot of detailed stuff. I send all my stats to him so he can see kind of, from leg one down to whatever leg it is. And he breaks everything down for me. And, it's basically my routine, man. Just have a one-on-one personal time and have somebody break down everything you do and tell you where you mess up at. So
I think that's key is the second set of eyes, someone kind of looking at it. I've talked with professional darts players that are like, I don't even have a routine. Like I throw darts occasionally and then I just go to tournaments. I've literally heard pros say that. And I've heard people say, hey, look, I've got this specific routine or here's what I'm doing for this week. And they write it out and they notebook it. I guess it's all personal. It's a personality situation. Some people are very, hey, I got to write everything out. But I think the key thing is the coach aspect. And having someone look at what you're doing because you can't see that. You can feel things, but you can't necessarily see things. And yes, the garage door behind me is going up. I have no idea why that's happening. Oh, the water guy's here. Say hey to the water guy. We're getting our water delivered. That's awesome.
Everybody needs water, bro.
Everybody needs water. We have a water tank that we get our water from because we don't like the fluoride. But anyway, so there you go. That's what it looks like outside my garage. The weirdest things happen. But I'm curious. I want to push.
The wall was moving. I just saw a wall just go out of nowhere.
I got walls that move in my house. Just kind of. That's how I get my dartboard. It just goes up and down and it back and right.
You made it.
Exactly. So, Dave mentioned that James Wade said he wasn't the greatest practicer. Well, no, he's got a walk-on girl for a wife. I wouldn't be the greatest practicer either. But in any case, so I'm curious. You mentioned that you got someone that you're practicing with. You kind of have like a coach, which I think is the key element. If you really want to get better at sport, or anything in life, is having a mentor, a coach, someone that's kind of pushing you to get better. They can look at what you're doing, whatever that might be. That is key in regards. So who is this person that you're playing? Not going to give it up, huh? Is this a in-person person or is this a virtual?
That's it. Both. I guess you could say both.
Both? Okay. So I thought I might get it out of you real quick. All right, so I want to dive into your T-shirt, the Mission 22. I know you recently signed with them. You're representing them. If anybody's not familiar with this organization, they've been around for almost 4 years now. Their whole goal is to help military veterans that are dealing with like PTSD issues, suicide issues, that type of issue and mentality that happens as you come out of the military, whether it's what you've seen in the military, depending on your deployment, what you've dealt with just people in the military, and in some cases, the leadership of the military, and then what your family's dealt with. Sometimes it's really the family that has more of the PTSD than those that are coming back, because those that are coming back may have been gone for a certain amount of time. Their kids have grown up. There's all these things that happen that we don't necessarily understand that a military family and those that are serving go through. And that's what Mission 22 is here to do, is to help with that. And they're now reaching into the darts community because, as we know, there's a lot of military veterans that play darts. And so can you tell us a little bit more about Mission 22 and your involvement with them?
All right. Mission 22 is, just like you said, it's all about suicide awareness, trying to prevent, get help. If you go to the VA right now and you request a psychiatrist, therapist, whatever, you're on at least a 3-4 week waiting period. That is a long time to be waiting for somebody that wants to kill themselves. So Mission 22 kind of bridges that gap. They have the National Crisis Helpline. They have, they have their own crisis lines. They have different programs, for veterans to take kind of give them a new way to look, The slogan is, when their tour is over, our mission begins, because like you said, it's things that, you've been through, you've seen, you can't quite cope with. You come home and anything as slight as, people don't understand, anything as slight as like the ceiling fan blades can go off and trigger something that you don't want to go back to. And so they kind of give veterans sort of some light at the end of the tunnel. If you ever feel like you're at rock bottom and stuff, you always have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You have somebody you can call, and that's Mission 22. 22 veterans a day kill themselves, so it's time to help stop some of that. And the dart world, like you said, I've met way more veterans in darts than I ever did in mountain biking or just out and about. Like, it's crazy because it's a primarily, there's a lot of veterans. So it was really cool to bring Mission 22 into the sport. They're excited about it. They love it. They love the support that they're getting, and we're gonna save some lives, man. It's gonna be cool.
That's cool. So yeah, I was reading, looking at the website, kind of checking them out. And again, I live in a very military oriented type of town, or we're literally the front gate to Camp Pendleton, and the rear gate. It's funny, Oceanside gets both ends. It's kind of interesting, but I know a number of people that have been in the military. I know a lot of military veterans in the stories and the things that they've heard, and I have had the opportunity to sit down with a lot of these people, friends, family members. My brother, was in naval intelligence, and there's some things that I heard from him. I worked a job where we were contract workers in the military, and I spent some time doing some fun things with the military, helping train certain situations and doing some things. In regards to all that, you see some of the worst of a human being. For sure. We are by far the worst animals ever. But yeah, and what we can do to another human being is unimaginable. And I know that there are guys that I've talked with and that are friends of mine that have seen and done things that they almost have to laugh it off, but there's a reality to it. And I think this it's a big issue that our young men and women, now that I'm old, I can say that, but our young men and women deal with, and they've been dealing with it since the inception of our country. We've had to deal with certain aspects of war and life and trying to keep and maintain some kind of sanity that we know as the American way, which I think we won't go into the internal battles that we now have, but it's kind of gotten crazy. So Mission 22 is really trying to be a platform for those that are struggling once they come back. Because believe it or not, if you didn't know this, we still have men and women deployed in other countries. We still have men and women that are in a fight every single day. It may not be talked about as much, but it is happening. And these people are coming back and trying to get back into life. And that's what Mission 22 is helping, and where the darts community comes in. So Mission 22 and darts, you're representing or a representative, an ambassador for them. Are there other darts ambassadors? Is this something that they're going to grow? What's the kind of the plan? Do you have any info on that?
Yes, we let's see. We have four of the 6 players are now ambassadors for Mission 22. We got their paperwork signed. They're done. And they're always looking for brand ambassadors. I became an intern, and kind of escalated from ambassador, kind of climbing the Mission 22 ladder, I guess. But they're really excited about it, mainly because you're spreading something, through a community that is relevant to the community. It's very interesting to watch take place. There's a lot of support for it. It's been a wild ride, man, getting it to this point. It started out as just an idea in December or November and December. And, once once the general ideas got down of what I wanted to do, the purpose behind, well, why darts? Why now? Why this? Why that? Once you get all that stuff done and out of the way, it's just, going to work. And so I've asked a couple of my close friends if they wanted to become ambassadors, and which they agreed, and we got them through. And there's a lot of community support that ambassadors do. They go out to like deployed families that have kids, spend time with the kids. They do so much for not only veterans, but their families and their kids, because, well, just last week, an 11-year-old boy hung himself because his dad is deployed for his 4th time. And so when that came through, it was just like, are you serious? Like, so you gotta stop it before it happens. That's why I want to do stuff with youth, because you don't know what's going on in their head at any point in time. So you have to kind of be kind of a battle buddy, a little, hey, man, are you okay? You want to talk about anything, just talk, cry, bitch, scream, yell at me, whatever you got to do, just get it out. And that's mainly what we're trying to promote with the dart team, is to get veterans to reach out if you're in a bad place, or you feel like you're in a bad place, or, well, 5 days ago, I wanted to run off the road and kill me and my whole family, reach out. Like there's help there. And so that's our main mission in darts, is we want to be a symbol of hope to those people. It could be players. We've had a bunch of players call the crisis line and stuff. So, I mean, it's been really great impact. A lot of people are benefiting from it. All of our players, they have, they're so dedicated. I've got 5 of the most dedicated people I personally know. And, they've taken the steps to build it and to, help get their communities involved with Mission 22, and kind of get everybody on board to like, hey, man, if you need somebody to talk to or reach out to, there's a whole team you can talk to, man. And one of the things Mission 22 said in one of our meetings was, somewhere out there's a veteran in a bar drinking, figuring out a way to kill himself. And if he looks over and sees one of our players, or sees a Mission 22 logo or something like that, it may trigger something to where he goes home and says, hey, I want help. I need help. Then we've done our job. That's what we're here for. We want to save lives. And my friend Jenna was actually one of the 22, unfortunately, very recently. So I didn't take any time off. I think I took half a day where I didn't do anything related to anything. But I had to keep going. I have to keep going. I have to keep pushing. I mean, we're here for a reason, and some people don't exactly know yet. And, when something new comes to people and they don't understand it, they kind of, want to talk bad about it, or whatever the case may be. But like I told all of our players, we're going to have heat, we're going to have this, but our actions are going to do all of our talking, man. We're going to, we want to be a positive impact for the sport. We want to grow the sport. We want to bring more youth into the sport. We want to show veteran players, like, hey, if you need, like, we're here, man. We can get you some help. We can get you things. You don't have to sit and wait. You don't have to sit and dwell on stuff. And there's a lot of things that you can't, being in the military, you can't really tell to a public psychiatrist and things like they don't relate. They have no clue. They got their degree from a book, and Mission 22 and the Veteran Crisis Line, you're talking to an actual veteran that has been deployed multiple times. You're talking to a certified counselor that's been in the military, that knows exactly what you went through and going through and see every day. And so that's really helped a lot. If you can get on that relatable level, instead of just talking to somebody. I mean, I can talk to the wall right there and get advice, you know what I mean? But yeah. It's finding the right mixture of help. That's what it is. And it's not pushing help. You can't force it. You just have to be a beacon and like, hey, man, we're here. You need to talk, come talk.
So Dave asked the question in the number 22, where does that come from? I know where that comes from, but where does the Mission 22, where does that number come from?
They want to end 22. That's why there's 22. But on average, 20 to 22 veterans kill themselves every day. Every 24 hours, 22, 22, 21, 20. And the whole purpose is ending 22. They want to bring it down. And the ultimate goal of Mission 22 is to not have a Mission 22. They want to get it down to where the statistics for veteran suicide is as random as a shooting in Canada.
Yeah.
So, and that's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal of Mission 22 is to shut down Mission 22 because it's the spread of veteran suicide, the stigma of it, that person's just crazy. No, there's a lot of stuff that dude sees when he blinks, closes his eyes, looks at a light, hears a sound in the background. You don't know another person's triggers. And that's why I always say is be a decent human. You don't know what something can say. There's been instances where people have jokingly mocked people and then they've done the unthinkable. You know what I mean? So it's all about just being a decent human and having each other's backs and being there for somebody. You know what I mean? If you see a veteran, sitting at a bar, just slamming shots and he's got a cigarette in his hand shaking, I mean, what's stopping me from going up and be like, hey man, you all right? How about your beer? You want to talk? You good? Just having that, are you good? Can go a long damn way. That some people just want somebody to care.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
I would say, and I think a lot of people don't understand the difference between what those that get deployed see versus, some other things. And of course, this past year has driven some different issues, whether it be with veterans, or enlisted, along with those that are family members, which I can't stress enough. As family members deal with it as much as, if sometimes not more than those that are deployed. Some of those that are deployed really, they gain, I want to say that, no one's prepared for what they see when they're deployed. No one's prepared for what they deal with once they get into the military. But there are some that understand what it is. And then there's a little bit within the military to help people to understand what they're dealing with. But the families really don't. A lot of times spouses don't understand what they're signing up for. The kids certainly don't understand what's going on, and the families are very much affected. And we now see, my age group, we have kids now that where we were getting married and we were getting deployed during the Gulf situation back in the early 90s and those things, where we're seeing those kids that are now adults, and we're seeing the effect that dad's being gone, mom's being gone for long periods of time and coming back, being here for a short amount of time and going. That was the era that being a Navy SEAL became a big deal. And we saw the numbers within the SEAL teams quadruple as to the number of, these guys are getting deployed on a regular basis. And if they're not deployed, they're training, and, they're training in certain areas around the country or world. And due to that fact, they're not there for their kids. So I just wanted to bring this up. Here's the website. You guys can go there. You can certainly donate or help, or, see about becoming an ambassador, see about being someone that helps out within the community. It is certainly something that's needed. So it's mission22.com. They could certainly use some help. And I will agree with you in regards to, I think if you have an issue, seeing a doctor is important, but seeing the right doctor is important. If my tooth hurts, I don't go to the foot doctor.
Yeah.
So, and the VA, unfortunately, doesn't do a great job about taking care of things, whether it's an unmanned situation, a not understanding situation, whatever it may be. Finding help of people that can certainly talk and understand. I will say I know book doctors, book psychologists. I have a couple friends that are book psychologists that won't take PTSD cases because they say, I've never been in the military. I've never had this issue. I can't talk to you about what it is. And so for you that are veterans out there, those that have been in the community, whether you're a family member that's a veteran, you're a veteran in your own right with what you dealt with. If you were actually on the front lines, you were actually out in the field, or you were in a situation where you were helping the field, you were doing something that might have been back here in the States, or maybe you were stationed in Reykjavik and you were helping the deployments, from there, whatever that might be, you have something where you can help someone. We need to, as that organization, that group, be there to help. And as darts players, we can really do that. So I'm just reaching out to all of you, because I know there are people that are watching this that were in the military or had some form of it. Be someone to help out. And Devin, sorry to talk so much about it, but it's a passionate thing for me. What Mission 22 is doing is a big thing. Suicide is a really big situation for me. My cousin, and this is partial PTSD, my uncle had been in the Air Force, and there's some stories with that really drove my only male cousin to take his own life. And he almost took a couple people with him when he did it. So it is very dear to my heart as to what happens. His letter and his reasoning for what he did really stemmed from what their military family went through, the travels that they did, the number of countries that they traveled to from his deployments. And so anyway, to me, this is a big thing. And I hope everybody out there will look into what Mission 22 is. And if nothing else, buy a coffee mug, do something to help out, but reach out to the community. All right, let's get back to darts. And if you're a darts player, Mission 22, maybe you become an ambassador. So, Devin, we've got about 10 minutes left here. I want to talk a little bit about, because you've been doing this for 6 months. You're back playing with people. You've played some virtual tournaments. You've played some in-person type stuff. How's that been? Are you seeing some growth? Are you finding yourself winning some stuff or placing well? I mean, how's it been? I mean, let's pump yourself up. Give some accolades.
We did the ADN Virtual World Cup. We had 3 USA teams. All 3 USA teams advanced. Unfortunately, we got beat by, I believe it was Canada, Scotland, and Slovenia. But we're all still on board. We're going to go back and do the next one. Let's see. I do Nashville Premier League. I am not so good in that one. I've tied one time. I actually have to play tonight again. But there's 10 players in Nashville Premier League, and they are some of the best teachers you could have for a night. And everybody gets along. Everybody's great. It's not crowded in the whole league atmosphere. It's literally 10 players and the coordinators and stuff. So it's really some one-on-one time. So I'm not doing too hot in that. I wasn't supposed to anyway. I'm just there to kind of push myself further and things like that. GNDA in Nashville, our team took first place. So we're headed to playoffs, my very first ever season. And I got second in team standings. Somebody told me that the captains don't count. So if you take captains out, I'm first in the team. So I don't know if they count that or not. And then I also signed up for Dart Players Nashville Super League. That starts April 19th. So I'm starting to phase myself away from the virtuals. I'm in DPFL. I'll probably stay in DPFL for a long time. Tim Way, he does an excellent job of running that. And so it's just been an honor to be a part of that. And he's got so many players doing it. It's been tough, but I'm slowly getting out of virtuals, and I'm still going to have my 1 or 2 virtuals a week, but I want to get more out. So I've signed on for 3 nights a week in Nashville. So I feel like I'm progressing a lot from when I started. If you take my week 1 to my week whatever, it's just been a steady incline. So I feel like I'm learning a lot. I'm pushing myself. I'm fueling myself and going through. And actually, just last night I placed. We got 3rd place in the blind draw for Easter. So that's the furthest I've been in a blind draw. So that's definitely huge for me. It was a great night. And, so I mean, I'm hoping that it stays going, man. I hope I keep learning and just keep grinding, man. I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, there's definitely ups and downs in this sport for sure. There are moments of pure frustration. But I'm excited to watch, and I'll be honest. There were a couple people that asked me, because I'm lying all the time, so I'll be honest at this moment. But there were a couple of people that asked me, like, why are you having a guy that's new to darts on this show? You've talked with, some decent named players, some PDC players, and I said, and for me, the reality is, we all start somewhere, and we need to talk about the journey along the way. We need to understand what people are dealing with and how they're going about and doing things. We live in a world where YouTube is a place where you can come learn a lot of stuff. So that's part of the reason I really wanted to have you on when we had that conversation about that. And I've been watching what you've been doing. It's an exciting thing for me. I'm excited to see where the career goes for you in darts. Any desire to maybe try out for Champ Darts, the CDC. I hate that name, but is there any desire to maybe try and get a tour card through a Champion Darts?
No. I think my purpose right now, in darts is to have the Mission 22 team to continue to grow that, and I think that would mean more to me than a championship or anything. I want to still do my leagues. I still want to be, part of, all the associations I'm with. I want to be with them for a very long time. I feel like that majority of my time needs to be on my goals and the goals of everybody else. Not a lot of the things that I do are even for myself. If you look at the history, I mean, some people look at my posting as, I'm bragging, I'm stepping on toes, I'm, throwing stuff in people's faces. And those people aren't really realizing that there's a whole nother group of people that watch me. And it's not just the dart community, and it's just not family and friends. Like I've got, I came from another sport. So my posting into a sport that I've never even done before, it's all been part of a purpose. It's all been part of a plan. It's all been leading up to something, and Mission 22 is that something. So it's been great. It's building your social presence, getting your name out there, getting kind of, stick around with me. Something big's coming, hey man, I got your back, things like that. And then, so it's great to finally get Mission 22 out and on it. We've been working on this project since November, December, planning back and forth, emails, and all this stuff. Our contracts got finalized yesterday, so I'm sending those out. We'll have those for our 6 players. I signed mine last night at Craftsman. So as of right now, we are an official sports team of Mission 22. So I'm very excited about it, and I hope we do a lot of good. I hope all of our programs work out. I hope all of our players, do what we're committed to doing, and just making a positive impact, man. It's all led up to something.
Yeah,
and that's why I don't respond to a lot of the online. I got work to do. I can't respond to every thing that somebody wants to say. My inbox is always open if anybody would love to ask questions about anything they've heard. But other than that, man, I've got a purpose. I've got a goal. I've got a drive. I've got a fire, determination. I want to be good. I want to win. But at the same time, my main purpose is I want to make a difference in people's lives. I want to introduce a whole new way of thinking of the sport, and just kind of bring some light on dark subjects that everybody goes through, man.
Yeah. Well, what I'm taking out of what you're saying there are a couple really cool key elements that I think I just want to kind of punch on here. One is the fact that not everybody that plays a sport needs to drive to be a professional in the fact of having a championship dart circuit card, the Champ Darts situation, or PDC, or whatever that may be. The drive doesn't always have to be to get the tour card, so to speak, and have the darts be your form of income type of aspect. You can play to just say, hey, I want to be the best in my league. I want to be the best in the B group, the C group, the A group. It doesn't have to be just the best in a particular league, but maybe if you're good enough, you want to be the best in your state. You want to do this. You don't have to take it to that next level. That doesn't always have to be the drive. The drive can literally be, I want to beat that one person every single time I come against them this league year. That's kind of one of my goals right now. There's someone that I just want to beat every time I play them. Not because I hate them. It's because they're better than me. And so I want to step up to the next level and say, hey, I beat them every single time I played them. Okay, goal achieved. What's the next goal? So I think not having to play towards that. I love that you're saying that. And you're like, hey, I just want to get really good at what I'm doing. And I want to be a conduit to help others, through Mission 22, help those that are in need from something like the military, which you had spent time in, and you have that connection, that ability to talk to them. That's awesome. The other thing, that kind of I took out of what you were saying there is just the idea that, you really want to reach out. You want to be a part of the darts community. And it's not so much a matter of being so much a voice specific for one thing. And ultimately, you're there for people, but you put a hand up to the haters. Those that are hating via social media or other ways, you're not going to respond to them. You're not going to deal with them. But if you have a problem, a question, or you really are sincere about something, you're going to be there for them. And I think that's awesome. I think it's a good way to run how you do things.
There's been so many people too that within a 10, 15-minute conversation with me, they was like, oh, wow, I thought that was true. No, it's not. It's just, whatever. If you spend 5 minutes with me and tell me what's wrong, I mean, I'm a cool dude. I'll talk to you. Shit. Yeah. I'll hang out, have a beer. I don't care, but I have no animosity toward anybody. And I think, even my worst haters, I thank them. Like it's been the fuel. It's kept me going. It's kept me showing up. It's kept me out. And you have to embrace everybody, good or bad, that comes into your life. It doesn't matter. Everybody comes into your life for a reason. Whether it be, hey man, I've got so many messages. Spike Seglio was like, man, ever since I've met you, my game has been incredible. Like you've pumped me up. I've had, a couple other players say that, dude, you're my motivation to even, play right now. You want to play. So it's been, you have to embrace everything, man. You have to, it's all fuel, good or bad. You just have to use it as fuel and just push yourself. Now, I won't turn down if I get good enough to get a card, but as far as like a primary goal, I'm not going to chase it. But if I wind up getting there, then that's cool too. But yeah, we have a purpose, and we don't have time to worry about what people talk about, because while people talk, we're working. We've got stuff to do, man. We're so backed up on things to do, man. It's awesome, but
yeah.
You just have to take everything with a grain of salt and just live your life and do good by good people, and your true colors will fly, whether people want to see it or not. That's on them, but you can't worry about other people, and you just got to live your life, man. Have fun doing it. No matter what you do, give it everything you got.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Very true. I'm just in my head, I'm thinking, okay, we need to have like the Mission 22 marathon type thing where you guys get together and play, but you're going to have to go soft tip for that because, right now, soft tip really has the best platform for doing stuff like that, like getting a grand board. I would say Bullseyes and Brewskis.
Brewskis, my boys. I love those guys.
Roy's been mentioning a couple times in the stream, like, hey, we need to get you a soft tip board.
Man.
But there you go. I think a soft tip board, might be something that needs to happen for you and the Mission 22 guys, and you guys can do a marathon of darts and play people that come on and raise money for Mission 22. But we got to get to the soft tip situation. I think you'll find that you love it.
I talked to Roy about this. I want to do a Mission 22 virtual benefit on Bullseyes and Brewskis. And he's actually doing a drawing for a grand board. So if you don't have a grand board, Bullseyes and Brewskis you can win one. So check that out.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
I would love to have a benefit show. I mean, because they have a lot of fun. I don't know if you've ever watched them, but it's just fun. It's just darts. It's just darts, man. So it's pretty cool.
My wife actually has my Bullseyes and Brewskis beer mug, beer glass. She steals it from me all the time. So, but yeah, I love Roy and the guys over there at Bullseyes and Brewskis are rocking it.
They've been with me ever since the beginning, man. Ever since I've known them, they've had my back, man. I love all those guys to death. They're great.
They're good guys. They're good guys. So, well, Devin, it's been a pleasure to talk with you. You know, I want to respect your time. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for talking about Mission 22. Thanks for talking about what you got going on. I definitely want to have you come back on down the road. We'll talk about, you know, progress, where you're at. How can those that are watching the show or catching the replay, how can they follow you? Where can they find you and kind of see the progress that you have?
It's actually Devin the FOXX everywhere. That's my link everywhere. So Devin the FOXX, no matter where you're at, that's me.
Well, perfect. And Mission 22, again, that's at mission22.com. And, you know, go support that. Go check that out. So, Devin, thank you so much for being on the show. Everybody, thanks for catching this episode of Coffee and Darts. Hopefully, you know, it was an enjoyable show for everybody and you guys got some out of it. Go follow Devin. Make sure that you're, you know, keeping in touch, seeing how he's doing, how he's progressing, and communicate with him. Not with hate, guys. Let's do it in love. You know, let's be the lovers, not the haters. That's a good showing. So PDC is going to be on again today. I gotta bitch a little bit about yesterday. I think it was kind of crappy what they pulled. I know, Devin, you said you're busy, so the PDC isn't necessarily something that you like. Those of us that don't practice as much, we sit around and watch it. You know, so but and I don't know if you're familiar with what happened yesterday, but DNZA, which is an organization, they mainly do boxing, but they picked up some of the rights for darts. They pulled a little fastaroo thingy yesterday where all of us that pay for the PDC went to try and watch it. And they said, oh, in really small print that you need to go to DNZA. The problem is you got to spend $100 to watch it there. Well, they fixed it. I think there was enough whining on social media, enough complaining. So see, it can work in the right format. And the PDC got it fixed. We'll see what happens today. But guys, don't forget Premier League, you know, again today, if you're into that and you want to watch the PDC. I do want to say that, you know, Bearded Dart Guy is still out there and all of those particular DPLF. There was a stream yesterday. So look for the streams, look for those, support those things. Champ Darts will be back mid-month with some more streaming tournaments and physical tournaments coming up. And I know USA Darts Productions as well as some stuff coming up. So, Devin, thank you again for being on the show. Hold on for a second as I close it out, which I kind of just did. But I want to thank again Mission 22 for supporting Devin. I want to thank Shot Darts for supporting the show. I want to thank Magicwear and their incredible jerseys for supporting the show. And, of course, Condor Flights and Shafts, which is part of 180 Darts. All right, guys, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next Tuesday. That's going to be a fun one because we're going to be talking about some incredibly cool, fun stuff that's coming up. Got a great interview for that one. So thanks, everybody. See you guys soon.